This video probably found you at the perfect time. I went from sleeping on my brother's couch for months because I couldn't afford rent, because I blew it all on funded accounts, and dreaming of this life, dreaming of creating this reality for myself. And then I did it. And in this video, I'm going to completely open your mindset, remove all limiting beliefs you have, and show you what's truly possible. Because the technical part of trading is easy, but it's in here. It's the mental game. That's the tough part. That's where people fail. So I'm going to try to break down the exact mental models I had when I first started trading that allowed me to create this life at 22 years old. And I genuinely believe you can draw a lot of value out of this video and apply it to your life as well to change it for 2026. Because if you're here, I'm guessing 2025 was another year that you didn't really do anything with your life, even though you want to. And I'm not saying you have to achieve crazy things. I'm saying if you want to achieve something, you should do it. I don't think you should live a life where you haven't lived the life you want to live. I think that is a waste. But if you're happy doing your job, who am I to tell you otherwise? But this is for people who felt like they wanted to achieve something, felt like they want another reality, but haven't really gone there yet, or don't do it because they procrastinate or they have limiting beliefs about themselves. Because most of the time it's actually fear, not procrastination or laziness. And by the way, after you watch this video and your limiting beliefs have hopefully changed, I want you to go to the description and watch my 35-minute free video on my mechanical strategy and my entry model. In that video, I show you exactly step-by-step the entry model that makes me $40,000 a month as a 22-year-old. But watch that after this video. I lost more than $10,000 trading with my feelings and some random YouTube strategies I learned. Because what most people believe is that trading is gambling, but trading isn't gambling when you have a mechanical system. Trading is gambling when you're trading off of your feelings. You see, the way trading can be gambling, just think about it. When you're at a casino, how are you thinking? How are you feeling? You do based off of what you feel, right? A lot of people, when they, for example, play blackjack, if they feel like a number hasn't gotten pulled out in a while, they usually expect it because that's how their mind works. They play off of feelings. And that's why the casino wins most of the time. Now, there are people that have beaten the game, and you know this. There are people that have beaten the game of the casinos. There are people that have done it the right way. But how did they do it? They did it through a system. They did it through a mechanical system. Nobody has ever beaten anything emotionally. It doesn't work, it doesn't exist. So trading is only gambling when you're trading emotionally, not mechanically. And the thing you have to understand here is that most strategies are actually not as mechanical as you want them to be. See, trading emotionally only happens when there are certain things in the strategy which allow emotions to sneak in. For example, if everything is not answered in an entry model, then emotions will creep in. That is a gap for emotions to creep in. Let's say you want to trade fair value gaps and you want to enter off a fair value gap. Now, when you say that, there's a bunch of other questions in your mind. Where in the fair value gap? How many candles in the fair value gap? Does it have to fill the whole fair value gap? Right? And if those are not answered, that will be an emotional decision because you will not get the desired outcome if everything is not defined, if everything is not answered, if everything is not mechanical. Let me use a fun example here. Let's say I asked you for a glass of water. Now, I say to you, hey man, could you give me a glass of water? You go and get me that glass of water. Now, let's say I wanted a cold glass of water. If I didn't specify that, you'll give me a not warm, but not even super cold glass of water, right? You'll give me a middle cold glass of water because I didn't specify that for you, which means that the only information that you have is Bart wants a glass of water. I didn't specify if I wanted it super cold. I didn't specify if I wanted any maybe flavor into it. I didn't specify anything, which means that that's up for your interpretation and you will do whatever you feel like. If you're super happy that day, maybe you give me an extra cold glass of water just to be nice. If you have some resentment against me, maybe you'll give me a warm glass of water because I didn't specify. But if instead I told you, hey man, could you give me an extremely cold glass of water with ice? What will I get? I will get the desired outcome. I'll get an extremely cold glass of water with ice because I have defined it for you, which means that your feelings or emotions can't creep in anywhere because you know exactly what to do. There's no variable that is not defined, which means that you will do exactly what is told and I will get the desired outcome. The charts work the exact same way. If you want to make money from the charts, every single thing has to be defined. The single thing that is not defined will leave room for emotions. That is why with my strategy, with my entry model, everything is defined. You have to see this candle after this candle with this pattern and these things have to be in place. There's no, oh, but this one, you can do this sometimes and there's this. No. If the rules are met, you enter. If the rules are not met, you don't enter. And this is why my strategy is super easy on psychology. This is why a mechanical strategy is super easy on psychology because you don't have to think. You don't even have the room to trade emotionally because every single variable is defined. You know exactly what to do for every single scenario. You don't have to fill in any gaps. With most strategies, unfortunately, you have to fill in a bunch of gaps, especially with ICT. With ICT, everything is not defined super clearly. There's so much shit. There are conflicting thoughts. And that is why ICT never worked for me. Because I pulled my hairs trying to figure out, oh, is this a good setup? Because I don't know. I could ask 10 ICT traders, is this a good setup? Some people will say yes, some people will say no. And they should be trading the same strategy. With a mechanical strategy, me and some guy in Mumbai can be trading the exact same strategy and we'll have the exact same entry. Why? because there's no room for interpretation. Meaning all me and him do is follow a rigid, super clear system. So there's no room for us to leave in our interpretation, to leave in our emotions, because everything is defined. So that is what a mechanical system does. And that is why you need a mechanical system, because it leaves room for zero emotion and you just have to execute. So if you ever look at an entry and you are like, is this a good entry? Your system is not mechanical enough and you're going to ultimately fail because of over trading and because of emotions. Super simple, and I can promise you that. Trading can definitely be gambling, but trading with a system and a mechanical system is not gambling. You're only gambling when you're trading without a mechanical system. Which brings me to another point of why you need a mechanical system. Because if you have a mechanical system, you know the exact parameters that need to be met for you to enter a trade, which means that you can now set alerts for those parameters when they are met. So for example, when I worked at DHL, I used to be so annoyed because I was like, wait, I'm working for 12 hours, I'm working night shifts, but don't traders have to stare at charts all day? How am I ever going to make it trading when I don't even have 5 hours of free time a day? Because my work consumes all of my time. Well, what I didn't understand back then was that you don't need 12 hours a day. You don't even need 5. You don't even need 3. Because when you have a mechanical system like we do, all you do is set alerts. The mechanical system that I have is based off a certain candle called a no-wick candle. I have an indicator that marks out those candles. Now, what I have done and what I tell my students to do is set alerts. Who's telling you need to stare at the charts? Set alerts. When that candle is created, you get alerted on your phone. When you get alerted on your phone, you open your chart and you see if it's a valid entry. If it's a valid entry and it follows the parameters which are clear, you enter. If the parameters are not met, you don't enter. You close your phone and you go do whatever you were doing. As simple as that. I trade max 2 hours per day. Sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes 1.5 hours, but max 2 hours a day, because I don't need to sit on the charts for more than that. And if you're watching the charts for more than 5 hours or even more than 4 hours a day, you don't have a good system. You don't have a good mechanical strategy, because then you're not really free, are you? You're still tied to the charts. The whole point of learning trading is to be ultimately free and to be in control of your time. So if you're trading your time on the charts, then are you really free? Have you really achieved the goal that you wanted to achieve? And the freedom is the whole point. So don't trade your life away. Because I see a bunch of motherfuckers being like, fuck 9 to 5, escape the matrix, etc. Bro, I haven't seen you in 2 days. You've been staring at your screen for 10 hours looking for a fucking trade. You haven't escaped the 9 to 5. You just replaced it with your room. Yes, it might sound fancier saying I day trade or saying I can work from home, but you're essentially doing the same thing. It's a 9 to 5 and you're still not free. Because that was what I was doing. I was like, fuck DHL. And then I sat in front of my computer for 8 hours. So I just changed from staring at boxes in a warehouse to staring at candles on a screen, but it consumed the same amount of my time. And that's when I realized, wait, I need something more mechanical. I need something, and when it alerts me, I can just open the charts and check quickly, and I can trade from my phone. That is what I needed. At the end of the day, freedom is the point. Nobody is doing this to make millions, because if you make millions and you have to work 10 hours a day, guess what? You're not gonna be happy, you're not gonna be fulfilled. Fulfillment comes from working as little as possible while making as much as possible so you can do the shit that you love more. That is what freedom comes down to. That is how I define it, at least. I work for a few hours a day, I trade, I have my mentorship, etc. And then the rest of the day, I do shit that I feel is fun. If I like to play football, well, guess what? Now I have money to buy my best boots. If I love my family, well, now I have money to take care of my family and take them on a trip because I have time and I have money. And I can do that while also making money from my job because my job doesn't consume all of my time. So simple. You don't have to sit and stare at the charts for 12 hours a day. You need a system that allows you to trade for max 2 hours a day, which is a mechanical system, and which is what I developed. And last thing is, one proven system beats 100 perfect strategies. I spent 2 years hopping from strategy to strategy to strategy, hoping something would click. And when I say this, I mean it. I was jumping every single week from strategy to strategy. It was super bad because I had shiny object syndrome. I always thought the grass is greener on the other side, but that is not true. The grass is greener where you water it. And I didn't understand that. Like I traded a strategy, I got lucky with it, I got some wins and I was like, yeah, this is the strategy. And then I took a loss and I took another loss and I didn't win for a week and I changed it. And then I took another win and I lost, and I took a win and then I lost. And I did this for 2 years straight because I thought in my head that a strategy comes packaged perfectly for me, which means that as soon as I learn a strategy, I'm gonna be profitable the first week and then onwards, forever. But that's not how it works. I didn't understand that I have to develop the skills for it. I have to develop the knowledge for it, I have to develop the skills, I have to develop the mindset. I didn't understand that. And that is the problem that most traders face. If I could time travel and tell young Bard one singular thing about trading, I'll tell him, hey man, choose one strategy you know works, you've seen works, and stick to it. Do not change, because every single time you change, you start from scratch. And with the no-wick strategy and the compensation play, I haven't changed it for 2 years. I've traded the same strategy every single day for 2 years. I haven't changed a bit. And guess what? I don't even want to learn anymore. When somebody tells me, yo, Bart, I got this insane strategy, bro, you should check this out. I'm like, go tell someone else, bro. I don't need it. Why? Because at a certain point, when you become profitable, you don't need much more. Because every single extra information you gain after becoming profitable will just be conflicting thoughts. It will do more harm than good because you'll learn unnecessary things that might go against your current strategy. So if you have a system that works, you don't need anything else. You're done. You don't need to upgrade and learn more strategy than this because more strategies doesn't mean more good. More strategy usually just does more harm. You just have a bunch of added information that doesn't help the current information that you have. And then you'll have conflicting thoughts. And that is what you don't want. Because let's say you know 2 strategies, trade ICT and you trade no-wick. And let's say there's a scenario where you have one of your strategy goes against that entry and the other strategy is for that entry, which means that on one strategy you want to take a buy, or one strategy you want to take a sell. Let's say that scenario happens. What do? Is this strategy better than this one? Well, why don't you just stick to this one then? It's hard. That's what I'm saying. That's why if you just knew this strategy and didn't know about the other strategy, much easier. Yes, you'll be oblivious to other things, but you don't need those things. You focus on your thing, and your thing will then play out eventually over a number of trades, but you won't have conflicting thoughts. You won't be emotional when you trade. You'll know this is my entry model, this is what I enter, and I don't do anything else. I don't care if that strategy can make me a billionaire. It's not my problem. I've chosen this strategy and it works for me, therefore I'm going to focus on it. That is why my students can achieve profitability within 90 days. I teach them the entry model, one singular entry model, literally one entry model. I teach them the entry model, and the entry model is very simple to learn. It takes them like max 3 weeks to learn the entry model. And the rest of the time, I tell them, all right, bro, the rest of the time is going to be dedicated for you to learn how to execute with discipline. So you learn one entry model, that's it. You don't learn a bunch of other concepts. You don't learn liquidity, unicorn neck. You don't learn a bunch of this shit. You learn one singular entry model that's proven to work over time and that is mechanical. That is proven to work over a sample of thousands of trades. The edge plays out over a sample of over a big number of trades. You just now need to learn how to execute that edge, how to follow the rules of the entry model and add them to the chart without interfering with your own emotions. That is what I dedicate the rest of the time to. And that is why my students can achieve profitability within 90 days, because that's all we do. We focus on the important thing. And the important thing is to learn how to execute logically without letting emotions interfere. If you can do that, then pretty much any strategy will work for you. I promise. So pick one strategy and commit. Simple as that. These are the mindset shifts that took me from losing money consistently to become more profitable and ultimately making $40,000 a month at 22 years old. So stop trading with emotions and get a mechanical system. Stop watching the charts all day. Trade smart, not hard. You don't have to trade your time for money anymore. That's not what this is about. You want your freedom back. And also stop jumping strategies. Choose one strategy and commit fully. And if you're wondering, well, Bart, where do I find this mechanical system and how do I learn how to execute it? Well, the video below, I explain step by step my 90% win rate mechanical entry model. So go watch that. And if you want to become my student where I take you from unprofitable to profitable within 90 days guaranteed, I do have a one-on-one mentorship where I take 10 students every single month, not more than that because I don't want to decrease quality. And I work with you every single week until you're profitable. No group calls with 100 people and no Discord where I don't even message, but I will actually meet with you one-on-one every single week and take you to profitability. I give you the A to Z exact mechanical system, and I also teach you exactly how to follow it with discipline. Because learning the technicals of the strategy is pretty easy, but what most people need is accountability and a blueprint on how to actually follow the strategy objectively. So if you want to apply and learn directly from me, the link is in the description. Fill out the form, and if you're a good fit, we'll talk. But whether you join or not, just remember this. I went from working for $15 an hour to making $40,000 a month in less than 3 years. And I'm not special at all, I promise. I just refused to accept a life that I didn't want to live. And if I can do it, why can't you? And again, it doesn't matter if you're 25, 45, 55, it's never too late to take action and change. So lock in, let's make 2026 your year, and I'll see you in the next one. I appreciate y'all, I love y'all. It's been your boy Bart. Peace out.